Don't forget, as always, that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another great week. Dane sends his love. He's calling a local tournament right now. Team is in the championship round, so excited for that. I get to do more of what I love. I love studio work, and this girl we'll be bringing on here in a few minutes. She's known by all of you fans out there as Hailey Cowan. Talk about someone who just fits the bill for a role model. Not afraid to stand up for what she believes. A God-loving woman, using her mind, her talent, her influence to spread good news and be a role model. Dane and I began looking into her a long time ago, and it's really cool. She's got a UFC fight coming up in about 3 weeks, so we'll be watching that and cheering for her all the way. But this girl, I'm telling you guys, there's just a love for the sport and a love for God and a love for integrity that I just couldn't get enough of. So I had to track her down, and thankfully, even as busy as she is, she's made time. So I'm gonna jump into it and bring on Hailey Cowan. Hailey, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm excited that we finally got this set up. Took a while,
Yes.
but we're here.
The timing is right. It's always, better late than never, right? So again, congrats. You got a fight coming up soon. So I know you're probably just exhausted with the prep and all that. So congrats. 3 weeks, you are 3 weeks out from your fight. Is that correct?
Yeah, 3 weeks out. I start my third week of 3 weeks of training left. So
That's awesome. All right there. So congrats. We'll be cheering for you. We'll be watching. So we heard a shot from Kansas. So we can't wait. I'm going to jump into the questions because I know you're busy. Kind of question one, obviously with what you do with multiple disciplines, and I know I've seen jujitsu from you, many things, stunt work. I mean, you do a lot of disciplines in this realm. But I'm curious when this began for you, like when you began being competitive, when it became kind of more serious for you. When did this realm of Hailey Cowan, MMA fighter, start for you?
So I started gymnastics when I was 5 years old. I was in the Junior Olympic program by the time I was 8. And my dad always watched MMA. And so I didn't know if I was allowed to watch it. So I'd always kind of peek from behind the couch.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit older, and my dad was like, "Hey, you want to come watch?" And I can't remember who George St. Pierre was fighting. It might have been Matt Hughes, but
Okay.
I was pretty young, and I was like, "Yeah, I want to watch." And so he allowed me to, watch. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was Matt Hughes. I was younger than that. But anyways, it's a great fight. So I started watching, and I was like, you know what? I want to do that. And there was Gina Carano, and that was kind of it. And so I was, in my mind, it just wasn't something that I was going to, ever be able to do. But I really liked George St. Pierre. I liked how he carried himself. He was so kind, so nice, so charismatic in all of his interviews. I wanted to be a friend too. And so I was a gymnast though. And, when you're a gymnast, you're training all day, every day. And if you're not training, you're competing. And so I didn't really have any time to even put my feet in the water. So
Right.
I go to college. I go to Baylor University. I was on the acrobatics and tumbling team there. And then I actually had a pretty nasty shoulder injury my senior year, and it kind of cut my season short. And so I had to have surgery. I graduated, went to Africa for about a month, did some mission work in Africa, came back and was like, you know what, I want to get in shape, and I want to do something that I can utilize my skill set, my very unique skill set for.
Yeah.
And my options were CrossFit, which I was interested in, but not that interested in. And finally I could, maybe try out MMA. So went into a gym. I had just gotten a job head coaching at a university in Erie, Pennsylvania. And
Wow. Okay.
This was July 11th was my first day of training. Went in, took every class they had. And I was an athlete, so the coaches were kind of excited about it. I was super athletic, and so they were blowing some smoke up my butt for me. But, maybe think I could be good at this. So that Monday, I called, quit my job. I was supposed to go August 1st to Erie, Pennsylvania. I called, quit my job, and the rest is history.
Ever since, I got you. Yeah, it was just full tilt, no looking back, right? That's awesome, man. Well, they clearly weren't blowing smoke. It was very obvious you had the talent. So it definitely wasn't embellishing at all. Probably were underselling you from what we've seen. But I'm curious, with that, your training, sparring, there's so much that goes, by the time you get to the fight, you've had so much experience at that point, So whether it's kind of like amateur stuff or, sparring rounds, or anything, has there been maybe an event so far leading up to this point that you feel like that was my favorite so far? Maybe a sparring partner with something so far that you like, man, that's been my favorite so far.
Can it be a fight?
Yeah, it can be a fight. Yeah, whatever you think, whatever you just love the most.
My favorite moment in MMA so far has been my well, kind of have two favorite moments. One of
Yeah.
my was Contenders. I can't Contender series was really cool. I think that they messed up. I think the girl that I fought should have also been in the UFC, and they should have probably matched us up differently. But it was such a fun, gritty, even bloody fight. So I loved that.
Yeah.
Sitting there waiting to see if it was enough, and it was weird. I prayed about it a lot, and I just had a feeling that I was getting in. So like I was stressed and worried, but I was so calm. Like I really felt like it was that was going to happen for me. So I was.
Yeah.
And then this is going to sound because she's sitting in the room right now, but one of my other favorite moments was training in Vegas. I met one of my really good friends who's from Canada. Um,
Sneak peek, right? I like that.
she has a face
Sneak
mask.
peek.
But yeah, and in no other realm of any sort of possibilities would we have met if it wasn't through this. So, and she's made a huge impact in my life. So
Yeah,
so that's another one of my, not
that's
really,
awesome.
yeah.
It's
Not
funny
really.
how like the way you speak about it, this is what kind of drew us to you as well. Your fight, you're talking about the moment that you love. It's clear to see that passion you have for God because what you are drawn to is almost like more about the people side than the fight. It's cool to see that about you. Your influence. Now people say your name when it comes to fighting, synonymous with believer. It's kind of cool to see that you can do both, right? You're out here spreading your faith and in a positive way, in a non-degrading way. I can't say enough about this. Dane and I speak about this all the time, all the ladies we have on the show. And we're not here to throw judgment or throw stones, but we love it that you're taking that route where you're proclaiming Christ and God as opposed to proclaiming immoral things, degrading. You're using your fist and your mind and your heart. It's so cool. So I guess what I'm saying is your influence is huge. You have a net now that's being cast, and it's really cool to see you stand up for what you believe. With that being said, there's got to be a couple people, maybe some trainers, fighters, maybe ministers, maybe some ladies in the past. Who's influenced you to make you kind of mold you into the Hailey that you are?
So I am extremely blessed with an incredible family. My grandpa was a pastor. Before his death, he built well over 300 churches. My
Wow.
dad was a pastor. And my grandpa's actually my mom's dad. And when my dad married my mom, he kind of took that patriarch role in my dad's life. And I'm just so when I was in my mom's womb, he prayed for me and my sisters, same prayer, an unconventional mission field.
Yeah.
And so when I told my parents, so my dad actually came to the gym with me, so he knew he was all about it. But when I told my mom this is what I want to do, she kind of looked at me and then shrugged her shoulders, and she's like, "Well, it makes sense."
Yeah.
So
Unconventional. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, like there are a lot of other people. The chaplain that I had at Baylor West Year, he was incredible. He brought me to Africa a couple times and
Cool.
got to share. We didn't speak the same language, but athletics is a universal language, so
Right.
we got to
Right.
athletics, which is really cool. But yeah, my grandfather,
I
100.
love it.
He passed away in 2016, but was
Rest
it
in peace.
2015? God, it's been so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's learning how to live without him has been really hard. But he left. I mean, he's literally there's pieces of him in all of us. My dad reminds me of him daily. My mom reminds me of him daily. My sisters, cousins. So but for my grandpa has been spiritually
I love that.
my leader. Yeah.
I love that, and a fight. Even if you go full distance, a fight, someone's going to see you on TV for at the most 30 minutes typically. But when they look into you, watch what you're doing, to see your videos, what you're posting, sharing about your faith, your workout routine, your regimen, your work ethic, and your love. That's what I think keeps people coming back. Right? It's sorry, I'll just kind of gush, but it's so cool to see that work ethic alongside of that faith. I love it. So it's seeing where that came from, the lineage, the patriarch, if you will. It's cool. And as we see this in good hands, it's only going to continue to go forward with the platform that you have. This is the first of many, I'm sure. So obviously you got the fight coming up. That's great. Can't wait for that. It's awesome. But then after that, kind of the brand is growing. The Hailey brand is growing. Outside of this fight, looking at the back half of the year, what's coming up outside this fight for you for the next 6 months or 12 months, if you will?
Well, hopefully more fights.
Yeah.
I've been benched for a while. I've had injury after injury, and it's been like not just minor injuries. It's been like go big or go home type injuries.
Right.
Maybe I should have gone home and I didn't. So, so
Unconventional.
this year I'm hoping I can pack it full of fights. Obviously, going to pray about it and make sure that that's what I need to do. But I have a feeling that I'm going to come out healthy and, be able to get a lot of, that's where my heart is. I'm 33 and I don't want to do this forever. I love it. I love MMA, but I want to have a family. I want to start a family. So, I'd like to fight a few more years, and I'd like to get as much as I can get in while I can.
I love that. I love it. Do you see yourself? I know obviously you still have the prime of your career, but down the road after fights, I know a lot of people look at coaching. You mentioned that. Do you see yourself going back to that route, ministry/coaching after the world of MMA? Or?
Yeah, I actually have a degree in journalism, so I would love to stay involved in the sport. I majored in journalism at Baylor University. They have an incredible journalism department, so I feel like I could contribute. And there aren't a lot of journalism, female journalists involved in MMA. So if I could get in, involved somehow, I would love to. So
that'd be a great, like, kind of a great venue to follow after. A professional athlete commentator. That might be a whole thing. There you go. Like, Hailey's Corner or something. Who knows? That might be a thing, right? I dig it. So got some fights coming up. No slowing down there. Congrats. Also, if I remember right, you recently got married. So congrats if I saw that right. That's cool. And then, more fights to come and maybe a Hailey's Corner/gym one day. That's cool. The next section, Hailey, I guarantee you, and all the media and all the press, all things you've done, I promise this next section, you've never had a segment like this, okay? Now, we keep it clean, we keep it PG, but we're going to get weird for a minute, okay? It's really cool. So what me and Dane usually do, we usually bet on what we think you're going to say. There's 5 questions, kind of similar to Family Feud that we come up with, sometimes audience-led and all that, and there's no wrong answer. What you have to do, you don't have to answer rapidly, but you pick off your personality, and we'll tell you if we got the right answer betting on your personality. It's really cool. Okay. Now in this segment, there's no wrong answer and there's no time limit. And in this segment, reality doesn't exist. So you could be a cartoon. This could be in the past, it could be in the present. It's really, really kind of just a personality test about you. You ready? All right. So first question. During your debut, they tell you last minute, Hailey, guess what? We're switching your intro song as you walk out to fight. Noel, I think I pronounced it right. But you have to choose one of these 2 on the fly as your walk-up song for your fight. You have to choose the Barney theme song or the Magic School Bus theme song as you're walking out. Which way are you going?
I gotta go Barney because when I was a kid, we had a 13-inch TV in our living room and we had one Barney tape, and I would watch it over and over again, and the rewind didn't work. And so as soon as it turned off, I would start bawling, and then my dad would have to pull it out.
That's awesome. Let's go. I had that one. I really did. So I knew kind of we were in the same age group similar. So I took you for that one. Good.
I grew up when I was little, so it makes sense.
And Magic School Bus, I mean, it does rock, but I got you. No problem. So question 2. So obviously I know you're a person of faith and I love your expressive journey of that. So the tough athlete that you are, you get transplanted back in time to when Peter and Paul and the apostles are walking the earth, okay? And you get a chance to be one of their bodyguards. You can choose to be Peter's bodyguard for a day or the apostle Paul's bodyguard for a day. Which way are you going?
I'm going to go with Paul because, first of all, Peter's my favorite disciple, but I'm going with Paul because people really hated Paul. And I get a lot more action.
Got you. Yeah, you'd be getting a lot more knuckle ups. I got you. So yeah, I got you. I actually had Peter, so I got that one wrong. So darn it, it's okay. No problem. So obviously there's this synonymous a lot of times as UFC, MMA disciplines, and entertainment, wrestling kind of goes hand in hand. We've seen Ronda Rousey, different people do it. So they're taking you back to about 2005. You're Hailey as you know now at your age, but they transplant you back in time and says, hey, we're going to have you wrestle at WrestleMania, and you get to choose your tag team partner. You get to choose Doris, which is from Everybody Loves Raymond, or Betty White to be your tag team partner. Doris or Betty, which way are we going?
Betty.
Oh my gosh, I didn't have that one. I had Doris, I did. Oh my gosh.
Betty.
That'd be awesome to see kind of some high flying stuff, man. Yeah, from the proposal, right? Yeah, I got you. I didn't have that one. No problem. No wrong answer. So I am 2 for 3. Got you. Next question. So they're going to make the 2030 version of the Hailey Cowan movie. It's going to be an action film after, your career is kind of highlighted and you're kind of still doing it. They make the biopic, right? And you can choose one of these 2 awesome actresses to play you in the Hailey Cowan movie, okay? They're both really cool. They're both known for action franchises. You can choose Mila Jovovich from the Resident Evil franchise or Kate Beckinsale from the Underworld franchise. Both awesome action people. Who's going to play you in the movie?
Mila Jovovich.
Oh, I really did. I can just kind of see you doing like the Resident Evil. Just
yeah. I've told we got the wide set eyes, so 4.
Got you. Okay, I got you. I had that one right. So 3 for 4. I'm beating Dane, just so you know, if you
Okay,
would
good.
pick. So last one. This one might be a little tricky because I know you're a Captain America fan, just from kind of low key watching some of your stuff. But they're making a next chapter of women action movies and stuff like that. You get to star as either the first Captain America, the lady version, or check this out, you can be the first Lady Rambo. Both cool. Lady Captain America, Lady Rambo. Which way you
Rambo.
going?
Lady Rambo.
Oh my gosh, I had Captain America. Now I didn't know why. Tell me why on that one.
Pants all the time.
Let's go. I got you. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Well, dang. Well, I went 3 for 5, so Dane, I would have beat him. So Dane would have owed me lunch. So that's a little segment, Haley, we call Rapid Fire. Hopefully something different than what you've had in the past. Thanks for being a good sport on that.
Okay.
So in the last segment, I know kind of probably getting antsy. In the last segment, we call this open mic. What this is kind of about is our athletes, our guests, musicians, whenever you come on the show, we want them to be able to kind of give a piece of advice to those that want to be you one day, or maybe someone that wants to follow in your footsteps. Is there maybe some words of wisdom about sharing your faith or this journey that you'd give to someone that wants to be like you one day, if you will?
So my dad gave me some advice when I was a gymnast and when I was in college that I think everyone should probably hear. I was kind of wrapping up my self-worth with my performances, and it was causing me to have like some performance issues.
Yeah.
And he spoke to me and he said, Hailey, gymnastics or acrobatics and tumbling at this point it's your passion, it's not your purpose. If that was your purpose, you would turn 22 and die because it's over. He's like,
Yeah.
it's passion, not your purpose. He's like, I'm not saying that God didn't call you to do this, but this isn't the sole reason that you were created. So he basically explained to me that, you can use your passion. So for right now, fighting, I can use it as my road, as like my highway to get, to my purpose, to my ultimate purpose.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like it is reaching young women. And, it's great that y'all reached out to me, because I always say, I want to be the athlete that moms are comfortable with their daughter following on Instagram.
Right.
That they're not worried that I'm going to post something that doesn't.
Yeah, just off the wall. Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, that's definitely what I was, try to explain, especially female athletes. Your passion, your sport is your passion. It's not your sole reason for being created. Did God probably have in mind that I was going to do gymnastics and fight when he created me? Yeah, I fully believe that, but that's not why,
Right.
And so once I really understood that, and once I kind of became a little bit mature in my faith, I was able to perform a lot better, because I understood that you're doing this because you love to do it, not because you have to do it.
Right. Right. Wow, that's good. That's a loaded baked potato right there of wisdom. I like that, but it's true. The means to an end. This is your avenue for your calling. It isn't all I do. I'm not defined by my performance. And so many athletes, we deal with, a lot of athletes here in Kansas, and you'll hear that all the time. Oh, I had a bad game, or I had had a bad quarter, had a bad inning, and they will define themselves to that performance, when really that's not what it's about. That's just a drop in the bucket. So I love the way you put that. And again, the influence thing, you're right. Someone that can follow you, can watch you, and you have a lot of followers, to be able to see you not compromise, but still demand respect and demand excellence. It's inspiring. So thank you for that. It's awesome. So. Well, Hailey, I could talk all night. Really, I could, about inspiration and and really work ethic and all that. But I know you're always busy. I think you're probably in between training sessions right now. So thanks for making the time. Yes, we will say, please make sure this is the first of many in the future, as more fights unfold and as your career continues to grow. You always have a home here. We love what you're doing. We'll be watching. We'll be shouting from Kansas, watching your fight. So can't wait to see more highlights. We can share them. But Hailey, don't be a stranger. Let's make sure this is the first of many. Thanks for taking time, and much love, and God bless. Okay. So
Yes.
take care, Hailey. Thank you so much. So, guys, that's Hailey. I'm telling you, Hailey Cowan. When I first started watching and kind of looking into what she does, just an inspirational person. Her love for people, her love for God, that faith, that drive that she has. It's hard not to want to root for somebody like that. Someone that wants to bring awareness to the next generation. We always talk a lot about passing the torch, the next generation being in good hands, and having people like Hailey as a kind of a pivotal point for the next generation. We're doing just fine. So thank you, all of you who in advance for listening to this episode. Thank you for Hailey and her fight camp for making this happen. Dane missed a good one tonight, but hopefully we'll have her back again soon. So catch the fight in 3 weeks, you guys. It'll be coming up before you know it. Hailey Cowan, UFC Fight 314. Don't miss that one. God bless. Don't forget, as always, that we love you. And if Dane was here, he'd say, thanks for listening.